I just got my eyelashes done. So yeah, a good thing done. I'm still doing that because I think it looks pretty good. And I don't have to put mascara on. I don't have to remove the mascara because like, yeah, it's too much work for me. But eyelashes, permanent ones, you wake up on fleek. You just have to brush them. So it's just so convenient and easy. So yeah, I just keep going with that because I really like them, and yeah, it's my little like beauty stuff. I'm not into fashion. I think you could see that right from my outfits. I'm living my life in leggings, in joggings, and yeah, I have no sense of fashion. I'm not into like, I don't know, shoes, jewelries, anything like that, makeup. So it's my only like beauty stuff I'm doing for myself. So yeah, just got them done. They're all nice and fresh. So I'm going to head home and then give you a little like review of my post show. Just because I tried to record while I was driving on my way to the appointment, but I don't know, I was not able to focus. My brain couldn't focus on driving and speaking, and I felt like I was just speaking shit for 8 minutes. So I was like, yeah, no, I will just film it again. So what I'm going to do is drive home. I won't film on my way home, and I will film when I'm home and my brain can focus. So yeah, I'll do that because there are a lot of things I want to speak about for my post-show period. So yeah, I want to be focused 100% and be able to speak and give you all the information the way I want to, and not focus on other things and then, yeah, not being able to explain everything the way I want to. So eyelash is done on my way home, and yeah, I will do a little recap. It's 4:45 exactly, almost 5 p.m. And look how dark it is, like, and I'm very close to my window. So yeah, it's winter is coming, guys. It's depressing. So let me just switch the light on. So now at least you can see me. So I was thinking like, yeah, I would cook my cream of rice and speak at the same time. But no, I think my brain today is not braining. So it's pointless to try to multitask today because I don't think I will manage. So I cooked my cream of rice and now it's chilling. So I have some time to give you a little recap. So yeah, just back home, cooking my cream of rice and my pre-workout meal. Then I'm going to train legs. But yeah, I figured out while it's just like chilling and it's not too hot, I'm going to explain things a bit. So today I am exactly 5 weeks and 2 days post-show. So my last show was 21st of September and today is the 29th of October. So yeah, 5 weeks and 2 days post-show. I was not perfect at all post-show with food. It's my biggest struggle. It has always been. So in 2021, I was binging for 8 weeks. For 8 weeks, I was eating in a surplus, couldn't stick to my plan. I was buying a fuck ton of food, like junk food every day, like chocolate, biscuits, chips, burgers, sushi. Like I was ordering from restaurants, buying from grocery stores. I was just constantly eating very palatable, very dense in calorie kind of food. So a lot of like junk food and stuff like that. Oh yes, as I said, food from restaurant, pizza, burger, sushi, you name it, everything. So in 2021, post-show was very rough. It was my first post-show ever. So of course, it's a big challenge. And I struggled a lot. I couldn't stop myself. It was very hard. And I gained, of course, a lot of fat very, very fast, especially because in 2021 I was natty. So I had zero hormonal replacement. So my thyroid was tanked, my sex hormone were tanked, nothing was working. So my metabolism was crashed after the whole prep. And I ate a fuck ton of food. So of course, I just ballooned and gained so much weight. So yeah, for 8 weeks, I couldn't stick to anything and it was horrible. This time around, it's much better and much, much better. Because so I had several days in a surplus. So usually I will show you, so you have the numbers and everything. It will be just a bit better for you to understand and to see things and yeah, to get things out. So for my first 4 weeks, I had several days per week in a surplus. So usually around maybe 5,000, 6,000, 8,000 calories per day. Most of the time, I would say. The big thing is I counted everything. I tracked every single thing I drank or ate that had calories. So everything has been tracked. I tracked my pizza, I tracked the donuts, I tracked everything. So at least I could know how many calories exactly I ate and the consequences on my body composition. So instead of putting your hand in the sand and be like, blind yourself and pretend it didn't exist and pretend nothing happened, I think it's very important to acknowledge what happened and to realize the amount of calorie surplus and like the extent of it and the consequences of your surplus on your body composition. So it kind of like gives you this like kind of slap back to reality. Like, because you see the numbers, you can see, I don't know, your weight going up and you can see, oh my God, I ate 8,000 calories today. Then you realize things, and usually it, like the fact that you realize and you see the consequences of your actions, it makes you like want to stop and go back to your plan. But if you don't see the numbers, if you don't count your calories on these days, and you don't really know the extent of the surplus, and you don't weigh yourself, for example, the next day, because you don't want to see the consequences, you don't want to acknowledge what happened, well, then it's like if it kind of didn't exist. So in your like data sheet or anything, like your check-in file, if you have just blank spaces, like no weight, no calories, no macros for this day, it's kind of like nothing happened, and then you're not, I would say you're not going to take action the same way as if you see in your checking files the number, because we all want to have a very neat and perfect checking file, you know? So seeing that you ate in a surplus on these days, the extent of a surplus, the impact on your body composition, you're like, fuck. So I think it's really helpful to stop this kind of pattern. So instead of pretending nothing happens and just like staying oblivious, I think acknowledging everything, tracking everything still. So I was still weighing myself, I was still taking my check-in pictures, I was still counting my macros and calories and estimating every single thing I was eating. So now I know exactly my calorie surplus per day and for the week, and I can see the impact on my body composition. And yeah, so it was very, very helpful to do that. So now I have all the data, and it made me realize I have to stop, because if I continue fucking around, I will just be very fat very soon, and then it's not a good place to be to start a good off-season. I need to stay pretty lean to start a growth phase in a good condition and be able to have a productive and long growth phase. So after 4 weeks of having several days per week in a surplus, I was like, what I can do is a meal plan. I thought that because I'm kind of all or nothing, my mentality is kind of like that. Either I'm just doing everything, or I'm just like fucking around and not doing it. I was like, if I have a meal plan, it's very rigid and it's kind of like all in. So I can just like focus on that and do only that. Because so far, I'm a very big fan of flexible dieting. So my whole prep, I was flexible dieting. So just counting my calories and macros, but meals were changing every day. Like I've always done that, and I love flexible dieting. But at this point of my recovery phase, because I was struggling with days in a calorie surplus, I was like, if I have a meal plan, only for a short amount of time, I can just like focus on nailing my meal plan. And I think it will help. And indeed, it helped a lot. So I won't stay on the meal plan the whole time, but it was really helpful. So I think I will just go back to flexible dieting once I'm in a good spot mentally and like physically and everything is on point and I'm out of this like struggling phase. But so far so good. It's just like with my life, it's pretty hard to follow a meal plan all the time. Like, because with work, my schedule is changing every day. During the weekend, I sleep in because I'm so sleep deprived during the week. I sleep in the weekend. So then my meal timing is different. So it's kind of hard to follow the same routine every day because of my life and my job. I'm not a full-time coach. If I was a full-time coach, it would be so easy to follow the same thing every single day, but I am not. So I just have to make things work for me and try to optimize everything the best I can. So this is why flexible dieting works so well for me, because it's flexible and I need flexibility with my life. So it works well. But at least during the week, having a meal plan that I can follow with work and adjust it during the weekend, do flexible dieting during the weekend, it usually works well. At least so far so good. This past week has been absolutely perfect, and this week is doing amazing too. I have no will to eat anything off plan, no will to eat anything like, I don't know, junk food or something like that. So very happy with that. I think I'm out of this struggling phase, but I think like the mentality was, so because my body is responding so well this time around, because first of all, I have a lot more muscle mass, about 18 kilo more muscle mass than in 2021. Plus, I am on thyroid replacement. So of course it helps like keeping a normal thyroid function. And also like my sex hormones are still tanked, okay, because you cannot do anything for that. With prepping, of course, my estrogen is rock bottom, my progesterone is rock bottom, but everything else is a good position. So my body is functioning a lot better and my body uses energy a lot better than in 2021. So I was eating a lot and I was not really getting a lot of fat, like not a lot. So I was like, I can eat 8,000 calories and the day after I wake up 500 grams more. So it's kind of like the consequences of my actions were not bad enough for me to want to stop. So I was like, oh, I'm fancying donuts. Well, I'm still very lean, so I can enjoy some donuts. And then because I have a big appetite, I'm not eating one donut, I'm eating 10 donuts. So yeah, so this is what happened. I think it was because my body is responding so well and my body is using so well the energy, even though I'm in a big surplus. Well, I was not really seeing any negative, I would say, consequences. Yes, I was getting a bit of fat, but it was very minimal. And it was not like, oh my God, I'm getting very fat, I have to stop. It was like, I'm still in very good condition, so I can afford it, right? But after 4 weeks of having a few days like that in a surplus per week, I started gaining a bit more fat. So I was like, okay, now I'm at that point where I feel small and fat. Flat, fat, small. not enough muscle mass. So I was like, yeah, I think it's the right time to stop fucking around, because if I continue doing that, I will gain a lot more fat and then I will hate myself. So now I'm in a good body condition. Like my composition is still lean. I'm still very lean. I gain some fat, of course, yes, but it's normal and it should be the case. You cannot stay very lean all the time. It's not productive, especially for me, because my body likes being fat. My body functions well when I'm fat. So being very lean is not sustainable at all for me. So I needed to gain fat anyway, but I still want to control it so I can be in a good condition and position for the rest of the year. So I managed to stop fucking around with food because of that, because I was tracking everything, seeing everything in my check-in file, all the data, and realizing, okay, I gained a lot of weight now. Seeing myself, I can see that I gained some fat too. So it's time to stop fucking around. It's the right time to stop. So I stopped at the right time, nailed my meal plan during the whole week. This weekend did some flexible dieting, but still perfectly managed my calories and macros. So yeah, and also another thing that helped a lot is increasing my base plan more aggressively. So for example, I finished prep at like my lowest calories were 1,800, and current, like today, I'm at 3,760 calories. So it's a bit more than double the calories in 5 weeks. So I increased pretty aggressively. If you look at the data I put on like just before on the screen, well, you saw that anyway with my days in a surplus, my average for the week, even though I was following the plan for, I don't know, four days, but 3 days very high, my average was like 5,000 calories for the week, for example, on average. So it was still very high, but I know that I can afford being more aggressive and eating more, like faster, just because my body, as I said, is responding very well, because I'm training extremely hard, because I'm still doing 12,000 steps per day. So everything is like, I'm pushing things very, very hard, and my body is using the energy the right way, so I can push more food a bit faster compared to other people or compared to myself in the past. So this time around it works well. And I'm very happy I've been able to increase my calories that fast and that much because yeah, almost doubled my calorie in 5 weeks. So, but now I'm able to stick to the plan. So it's just a lot better. I'm less inflamed. I feel and function a lot better. And yeah, I'm happy with that. So moving forward, I will, as I say, go back to flexible dieting because it just works a lot better with my life. But anyway, I am still kind of following the same structure. So even though I'm doing flexible dieting, my days are pretty much looking the same. Like usually I have the same amount of meals, usually the same kind of composition of my meals. So it's not if like every day was drastically different. Usually when I have meals I like, I'm just eating them. Even though I'm flexible dieting, right? So if it works for me, I just keep it the same. So it's still like very structured, okay? My flexible dieting is still very structured. It's just that, I don't know, if one day I fancy eating rice, I will eat rice for this meal. But if another day I fancy eating wraps, I will eat wraps. Or, I don't know, potatoes, I will eat potatoes. So usually my meals during the day, like my pre and post workout are almost always the same. It's just like some other meals can change, and I don't know, if I'm at work or if I'm home, it won't be exactly the same, of course. If I'm home, I can cook a bit more and I can eat better meals because at work it's always in a hurry, so it has to be easy and fast to eat and to prepare. So it varies still because like, yeah, it's flexible dieting, but I still have a big structure that I follow, like fruits and or veggies at each meal, at least 30 grams of animal protein per meal, making sure I have like good carbs that digest well every single meal, for let's say 3 to 5 meals per day, intra-workout, like everything is still following kind of the same template structure, but the flexibility allow me to eat what I like to eat, still of course taking into account that it's like low on non-processed food and like very good carb sources, for example. So eating clean, but like having variety in my diet, which is important for me and which works very well with my schedule. So I think I'm ready to move away from a meal plan and just go back to flexible dieting, even though, as I said, some days are going to look the same, like kind of a meal plan, but at least I can be flexible when I want to. Because I'm back in a good position, and as I say, I have no will or no thoughts about buying anything like junk food or ordering stuff from restaurants right now. So I'm very happy with that. So it's really about, I'm not perfect at all, especially post-show for me is very challenging. Post-show is harder than prep for me. So this time around, I managed it a lot better. I acknowledged all my actions, like I counted all my calories and macros. Even though I was eating in a surplus, I still weighed myself anyway. So I had a lot more like responsible way of dealing with things, and stopped quickly. Like 4 weeks is a lot better than 8 weeks, right? And also I was not in a surplus every single day. I was in a surplus like 3, maximum 4 days per week. So it's just drastically better compared to 2021. And now I managed to like stop everything. I'm in a good body composition and in the right place. So this week is going to be my last week, I think, of this recovery phase. And then I'm going to start a growth phase. Because I'm really feeling extremely good. My blood work came back very good too. My sex hormones are still tanked, but my sex hormones are so sensitive. I'm losing them so quick and so fast and so easily. It will take some time to recover my periods, but hopefully it will happen one day. Everything else is absolutely perfect. So I'm going to go back to growth phase starting from next week. So this week is my last week of the recovery phase. But that's enough chit chat for me. I think I just recapped everything like pretty well, like gave you a big overview with some details still. But yeah, I think that's a nice wrap up for this post show so far. So I'm going to eat my pre-workout meal. It's now 5 p.m. and 6 minutes exactly. I'm going to eat that, go to the gym, train legs, quads today. Maybe do some posing, maybe not. We'll see, because then I have to go to Tesco to buy some food and do some steps and manage to go to bed not too late. Story of my life. I feel like I'm running after time every single day. Anyway, I'm going to stop here, eat my pre-workout, and I will show you a bit of my training. So this is my first quad session of the week. I'm always starting quad sessions with leg curls just because it helps me to warm up my knees, and also my hamstrings are a big weak point, so I want to prioritize their work, and doing it first when I'm fresh is the perfect thing to do, right? To have fresh work and very good stimulus for hamstring growth. So I'm always starting with leg curls, because also it doesn't impede on the quads work coming later on. So it's really a win-win for hamstring development, knee warm up without impeding on the quads exercises later on. So I'm doing a prone leg curl. I like to change. Most of the session I'm doing seated leg curl, but also I'm doing standing leg curl on my hamstring session. And on this quad session, I'm doing
prone leg curl. So I just like to use different machines. They're all nice, they're all bringing different things. With this one I can work a bit more the shortened position. With the city leg curl it's more the lengthened position. So it's nice to just have some variety and doing different leg curls along the session. So I'm doing a prone leg curl here, 2 sets of 10 reps and 1 set of 15 reps, always controlling the weight, of course, slowing down the eccentric. But yeah, very good machine, really like it. Prime is amazing. So this is definitely one of my favorite leg curl machine. So after that, what I'm doing is a pendulum squat. I think it's Predator, the brand, Predator pendulum squat. It's not my favorite one. I think my favorite one is the Atlantis one because it's a lot smoother, but it's the only one we have in this gym. So I'm using this one. It's not bad, but I prefer the Atlantis. It's still a very good machine. I just like it's a bit hard on the knees and it's a bit heavy at the bottom and then lighter. Like the resistance curve is not as smooth as on the Atlantis. On this movement, I'm doing 2 sets of 8 reps. So 8 reps, of course, full range of motion, still controlling the weight on the way down. And yeah, it's just like going to failure because I can, at least on the last set. For example, like if I have 2 times 8, usually I do just my 8 reps with maybe potentially 1 in the tank. It's just like I'm not sure if I could do it, so I just do my 8. I'm not trying to do another one. If I'm not sure I'm going to get it, but then for my second set I'm really going like to pure failure, meaning even though I know I won't get it, I'm still trying. So I usually of course fail because like usually I know that I won't get it, but I'm still doing it anyway just to try to get as much as I can. So even like it's 8.5, you know, because you still have the eccentric, even though you cannot measure concentric. So going back up, you still go down, so you have still a bit of stimulus there. So yeah, I'm always going to failure for the last one, even though I know I won't get it. I'm still going for it. But on my first set, there's no point like doing that because then I'm very, very fatigued for the next one and it will decrease my performance on the second set. So it's not really worth doing that. So yes, that's pendulum, and then I'm going on the leg press. I really like this machine. It's definitely my favorite one. It's kind of the same as a Nebula one. This one is Arsenal, but the Nebula leg press is very, very similar. I think these ones are my favorite leg press ever, the Nebula one and this one, because it's the only leg press where I can get a full range of motion and the angle of the platform is very, very good because I can keep my heels on the platform the whole time. My lower back is still on the pad the whole time. So it's just perfect angles everywhere. This machine is really well done, so I really like it. And because I'm small, I'm not fitting everything on machine because like range of motion is an issue. On some leg presses, I cannot go down as much as I want to because I'm too small for the machine and it's not made for small people. But this one is absolutely perfect, so I love this machine. So same, always controlling on the way down, a full range of motion, so till my thighs are crushing my rib cage. Like I couldn't go further down while my lower back is still on the like back support. So if your lower back starts to like lift a lot, then it means you reached enough like hip flexion and knee flexion, and then you're just compensating with lifting your lower back, so just to get more range of motion, but it's not what we want. Like the joints, so the hips and knees, when they reach full range of motion, that's it. And also you can just adjust the back support accordingly because it will help with your back and how you feel and your range of motion and stuff like that. So adjust it according to you. But yeah, this leg press is absolutely amazing for me. I love this one. And then I am going for the leg extension. On the leg press, I did 2 sets of 10 reps. And then on the leg extension, I did 2 sets of 10, 1 set of 15 reps. So I don't like this machine, to be honest, but the Prime leg extension is under repair for about 6 weeks now, and it's still not repaired, so I'm a bit pissed off, but it is what it is. I cannot control that, but yeah, so it's the only good option remaining. I'm really a big fan of the Prime leg extension, but because it's not repaired yet and I cannot use it, I'm using this one. I just feel like the grip is not amazing. Like, I cannot really grip myself very well to the machine, if it makes sense. And the angle is a bit weird also. Like, I don't know, it just feels a bit awkward. This is why I really love the Prime, because the Prime feels very, very good. I can really grip the machine very well. I have a good position and I can only focus on the quads. On this one, I kind of have to adjust my grip in between the reps so I can keep a good grip. And then my torso and position is a bit weird, so I have to focus on that too. So it's just not ideal, but it is what it is. So yeah, same, always controlling on the way down. No really exotic tempo for this one. It's just controlling the eccentric, but I don't have any kind of poses or anything like that. And also, because now I'm in a growth phase, I increase a bit my volume. So I'm doing an extra set on the leg curl and an extra set on the leg extension. Because before I was doing only 2 sets on the leg curl, 2 sets on the leg extension. And now, because I'm eating more, I have more energy, I'm recovered, I can handle a bit more volume. Increasing on my main movement would be too much. 2 sets of leg press and 2 sets of pendulum is definitely enough. It kills me every time. So it will be too much to increase on these ones, but I can increase my leg curl and leg extension because it's less fatiguing and I can handle it, I can recover from it. So it's extra volume for the muscle I want to develop. So this is why I increase my volumes on these ones. So 3 sets of leg curl and 3 sets of leg extension. And then I'm just finishing with adduction, abs, small movement like that, just finishing with the small muscles, abs, calves, adduction, abduction, at the end, but I didn't film them because they're a bit boring, right? So yeah, that's my first squat session. I really like this session and progressing very well on it, so that's amazing.
I'm now done with training. I haven't done any posing just because I don't have the time. It's already 9 p.m. I need to go to Tesco to buy some food, and then I need to go home, do some steps, prep my meal, prep my meals for tomorrow. So I just really don't have the time to do some posing today. But anyway, it's not a big deal. I don't look good, I look like shit. So nothing you're really missing anyway. And you'll see my physique later on. I'll film my physique for my check-in on Sunday because I'm working on Saturday. So checking on Sunday, so I will film and you'll see my physique on Sunday. So it's plenty of physique videos coming. So yeah, no posing for me today. I just need to crack on, go to Tesco, buy some food, go home, do my steps, prep my meals, eat my meal for this evening, and hopefully go to bed not too late because I need to sleep to recover. So here we go. I'm on my way for some blood work because I'm done with my recovery phase. So I've done 6 weeks of recovery phase, and yeah, now I'm in my 7th week. So I'm just going to pull labs just to check everything, make sure things are getting better. First of all, my blood work 1 week post-show was already pretty good. No major issues, just my sex hormones were very low, of course, but it's always like that anyway at the end of prep. And yeah, that's it. Everything else was absolutely fine. So it's not like if I had any kind of major issue with my health and blood work results. It was not the case. It was really good. So it's just like checking a bit my, like everything else, but checking a bit my sex hormones, see if it's a bit better, see if it's improving, see if I'm on my way or not to get my cycle back, which is a big question here. So yeah, I just want to check everything at the end of this recovery phase. And yeah, moving forward, like right now I'm doing, like I started my growth phase. So yeah, just into a new phase, but I still want to check my bloods, especially my sex hormones. So on my way for that, and the traffic is a bit shit. So hopefully I won't be too late. It just takes a while because it's pretty far away from my place. It's like 35 minutes away. So it's not that close, but they're just providing great services. So this is why I'm going to this clinic for the bloods. I like their panel. It's a very complete panel. So yeah, good service, good panel. So this is why I'm going there. It's about £200 for everything. So to test everything, which is expensive, but it's a very, very complete and extensive panel. So it's definitely a fair price, I would say. And it's like very comprehensive and very extensive. So it's just the best option for me going with them. Because anyway, the other blood clinics are extremely expensive too. It's not like cheaper elsewhere. Or sometimes the panels are not good. So yeah, so on my way for bloods, and I just wanted to talk about some stuff because like at the moment I have this massive feeling of missing out and of like unfinished business, if it makes sense. Because for example this weekend, so now I'm off work, I'm on holidays, because I booked some off time because I was supposed to compete this weekend in Romania for the Muscle Fest. It was supposed to be my last show of the season, and I have friends competing there this weekend, so I'm seeing their stories, and it just gives me this massive like feeling of missing out, because I'm not doing the show, of course, and because my prep like finished earlier than it was supposed to. It was just a very weird prep, I would say, with a lot of unexpected things. So it just like left me with a massive feeling of unfinished business. So yeah, I'm thinking about that all the time at the moment, like every single day, every single time of the day. I'm thinking about when am I going to compete next, because so at first the wise part of me thought that I will take a full year off season because I need to grow and come back and compete in winter 2026. So that's the wise part of me, because I need to grow for sure. I'm very small right now, so especially going for women's bodybuilding, I need to be a lot bigger. So yeah, I was like, okay, I will take a full year off and compete in winter 26. But I don't know, like in 2021 when I competed, in my head it was very clear that I need to take a long time to grow because I was extremely small. But this time around, because I've done pretty well at some shows, especially like the European, it just like gave me a bit more confidence on being able to step on stage relatively soon and not having to take like a lot of time off. So I'm very torn in between, do I take a full year off and compete in winter 26, or do I just take 5-6 months off season and compete in winter 25? That's a big question here. And every single day I'm in between, and I'm really, really lost. This is a thing also with being your own coach, is you make your own decisions. Don't get me wrong, if you have a coach, you can still make your own decision on what you want to do, but a coach is here to guide you and help you make decisions like that. But because I'm my own coach, it's all on me. So it's only me taking the decisions on what I'm going to do next. So yeah, it's just a bit, I really don't know. Because I'm 5-6 months off season is maybe not enough to make significant changes and be significantly improved for the next time I step on stage. But I don't know, I really feel that I'm really feeling like I'm missing out an unfinished business, and it's so frustrating. It's such a weird feeling, and I really want to step. So my heart is telling me step on stage in winter 2025, and my brain is telling me you have to take a year off because you're too small and compete in winter 26. But also I know that the way I see myself is not the most, I would say, accurate way, because for this season I started thinking I'm too small for figure, and then I was told you're way too big for figure, and then even for women's physique they told me you're too big for women's physique. So I guess I'm not that small, so I guess I might be competitive even in 2025, even after 5 to 6 months off season. It might be enough to be competitive and to look better, because I might grow and improve pretty well. Because the thing is, when I'm thinking about it, when I arrived in the UK compared to when I prepped and when I competed, so I arrived in October 23 and competed in October 24. So in 1 year, I grew so much. I made massive improvements in only a year, meaning 5 to 6 months of season plus 6 months of prep. So during this time, I managed to improve drastically my physique. So only the same, only 5 to 6 months of season, I still managed to make massive improvements. So I'm thinking if I've done that last year, I can do that this year again. So maybe 5 to 6 months of season is not enough. Maybe it's enough. Maybe I can still step on stage in 25 and be drastically improved. So yeah, this is a big dilemma, and I'm just feeling very lost about that. So yeah, I just wanted to speak about that because I think speaking out loud, I can just think about things and take a step back, and maybe you can also give me your feedback and what you think about that, because having some very objective and external opinions, it's helpful. So if you have any kind of suggestions or thoughts about that, I'm taking it. Just tell me what you think. But yeah, what I'm going to do also is ask some of my very trusted friends who I care about their opinion, what they think about that, so I can have some more objective opinion, but from people I trust, and see. I think I need just some external thoughts so I can make a decision, because I'm really struggling with my own head right now. But yeah, so I will ask and see, and hopefully make a decision pretty soon. But if I'm competing in 25, it would be a bit later, I think, that what I've done like last season, because last season I started in end of August, but I think this time around I'm going to compete more so around October. So starting in October and not starting end of August. So starting about a month later than what I've done this season, and then do Romania at the end. So it would be like doing a regional, a two bros regional beginning of October, then mid-October doing a pro qualifier, 2 bros, and then November doing Romania, and maybe doing all the shows but abroad. I know that there is a show in Hungary, Fit Parade. I think it's in October or end September. No, I think October. So there are all the shows I could do in between. But yeah, I'm thinking about starting my season a bit later than what I've done this year, so I can have a bit more time to get leaner and to bulk, of course. And also so I can do Romania at the end, because I really want to do Muscle Fest again. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm still really unsure about everything, but it could work, to be honest. I think it could work, doing that. So yeah, because I was thinking doing Olympia Amateur in Romania in August, like last weekend of August, but there are not that many competitors doing this show compared to the Muscle Fest. And as a women's bodybuilding athlete, it's very difficult to find like shows where you have a lot of competitors in this category. And Muscle Fest, usually there are several women's bodybuilding and women's physique athletes, at least more than at Olympia Amateur at the end of August. So I think it's a better show for me to be able to have competitors on stage with me and not being by myself. So yeah, and I'm thinking also I might compete in women's physique and women's bodybuilding, just because women's bodybuilding usually there's like only 1 or 2 athletes, but women's physique usually you have a lot of athletes. So I think it would be maybe worth doing women's physique just to get a pro card, potentially try to get a pro card in women's physique, because yeah, getting a pro card in women's bodybuilding is very difficult because there are just not enough athletes usually. So this is why I'm thinking that yeah, I think it might be a good idea to try to get a pro card in women's physique, and then compete as a pro in women's bodybuilding. Because yeah, I really don't think I can get a pro card in women's bodybuilding just because there are not enough athletes, which is very frustrating, but I cannot do anything about that. So yeah, just so many thoughts, but I'm just like constantly thinking about that, and I really cannot wrap my mind around that yet. So yeah, and right now, as I say, it's first week of growth phase, and I started Anabolics again. So far I was on TRT as usual, growth hormone 3 units, and I'm still on thyroid replacement because I have thyroid antibodies. So without replacement, my thyroid is really not great. So I'm still on replacement just to keep a good metabolism and thyroid hormone level. And yeah, just like other, I would say, basic supplements, L-carnitine and stuff like that, but no anabolics, of course. So I was off any kind of extra anabolism for 6 weeks. And so now I'm starting again Primo. I increased a bit my dose compared to the last. So my peak cycle for the last off season was 128 milligram per week, and this one I'm increasing a bit compared to the last peak off season, and I'm taking 140 milligram per week. So it's about 12 milligram increase per week. Because the last one I tolerated very well, no side effects, no issue with that. So yeah, I can increase a tiny bit more. So increasing a bit more my Primo, and yeah, I'm just like week 1 of my cycle with Primo, and everything else stays the same except growth hormone that I increased by 1 unit. So I'm taking 4 units per day, which is going to be my max. So during this cycle with Primo, I'm increasing my GH, which is going to be like, it will just enhance everything and make my Primo and everything else more effective, because it upregulates androgen receptors. So it's going to make Primo even more like efficient and productive without having to increase the dose of Primo, if it makes sense. So it's like very synergistic. So this is why I'm going for 4 units for this cycle, but then I'm going back to 3 units. When I be off Primo, I will go back to 3 units of GH. So yeah, that's what I'm doing with PEDs at the moment, but nothing else. And I'm just very conscious about what I'm doing and what I'm taking, and of course using like my result from the last cycles and see how I did and if I had any side effects and stuff like that. So I'm doing things right according to my body, my physique, my response. So yeah, I think that's it for my little like talk about everything. I just wanted to give you some feedback on what I'm doing and my thoughts and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm going to get my bloods. I was thinking in the shower this morning. I don't think I told you about, like, I think I filmed it but deleted the video later on. So I don't think I talked about it yet. Like I did but deleted it. So anyway, so the feedback I got from every single judge from last season was that I was good for women's physique, but my waist is too wide, too large. So my structure is just perfect for women's bodybuilding. Like every single judge, including Tyler Mannion, so the head judge of like IFBB, vice president of IFBB, like Tyler Mannion is just one of the best judges ever. And he said that if I could have a smaller waist, I can go with women's physique, but if not, I should go with women's bodybuilding. The thing is, it's not about waist control. So it's not about, I don't know, having my abdomen distended. It's about width, like proper width. But the thing is, I cannot change the width, right? It's about my skeleton, my structure. And the thing is, I have only 3 centimeters in between my last rib and my hip, meaning I have no space there to create a waist. So it's a skeletal issue, and I'm not willing to remove some ribs just to be able to do women's physique. So yeah, it's just like, it's really about structure. If it was about abdominal control, I could do vacuums every single day and train that and get better at controlling my abdomen and having it like sunk in. But it's not about that. Like, I can do it, but it's about width, and I cannot change the width. It's really about my skeleton. And yeah, it's just about, I have no space in between my rib and hips, so that's it. Like, I cannot change my waist from this point of view. So this is why I'm thinking, like, I really have to compete in women's bodybuilding so I can be competitive and I won't be limited by something I cannot control, because I cannot control my ribs and my hips. So the only way that I wouldn't be limited by that would be doing women's bodybuilding, because in women's physique they still want a small waist, and I will always look bad compared to a girl with a small waist, even though, for example, I have better like muscularity and conditioning. If she has a small waist compared to me, she will always look better for women's physique. So I will always lose compared to this kind of person with a good structure, which is really frustrating because it's not something I can control. So this is why I think women's bodybuilding is just a way to go for me, so I wouldn't be limited by something I cannot control. So it just fits my structure a lot better. But as I said, not enough athletes in women's bodybuilding, so I might have to try to get a pro card in women's physique and then compete as a pro in women's bodybuilding. But yeah, this is the feedback I got. So they all told me, you have to go for women's bodybuilding. It was very, very clear, every single judge. So I asked for the feedback of a total of 6 judges, and the 6 of them told me you have to go for women's bodybuilding. So at least it's very, very clear. But yeah, it's just about like athletes competing and getting a pro card. But yeah, I need to go for women's bodybuilding so I can not be limited by something I cannot control and just do my best and go further up compared to other categories where I would be limited by my structure. So yeah, just wanted to give you a head on this one, because I talked about it, but then I deleted the video because I was like, nah, I don't want to post this video. But yeah, at least now you're updated on this aspect, like the feedback I got. So it's just about working for that. And anyway, for women's bodybuilding or women's physique, I need to grow everything. So it's very easy, and it's what I want to do anyway. I want to be bigger everywhere. So it just fits my personal goal absolutely perfectly. But yeah, so that's it for me, for now at least. Blood's done, as you can see. And I really need to go for a wee. Like, I'm peeing every fucking hour, I swear. So I was going to explode, so I had to stop for a Costa coffee so I can go to toilet. And I also grabbed oat milk latte. Costa, I'm really into Costa coffees. Before that, I was like, before moving to the UK, I was a Starbucks girl because we only had Starbucks in Romania. But now that I'm in the UK, I'm definitely Team Costa and not Team Starbucks anymore. I love Costa coffee, and I'm obsessed with oat milk latte at the moment. So I already drank one at home this morning, but second one of the day, I guess. Usually I have only one oat milk latte per day, but because I had to stop to Costa to pee, I was like, I really love their oat milk latte, so I just grabbed another one. Treat yourself. So yeah, now I'm on my way back home. But yeah, loving oat milk latte. Like, I'm obsessed.